So this is how I am doing my Chapman's points for the posterior. Feel free to use this on the test if you would like. So first thing I did is I made my spinal column. It just has the first 2 cervical vertebrae because those are the only 2 Chapman's points, and then otherwise there's T1 through 12 and L1 through 5. So the first thing I want to do is I want to do kind of all of the ones that fit the normal pattern. So that will be the intertransverse space between the spinous and the transverse processes. So the first one that I noticed that does this is upper lung, and that's between T3 and T4. Next it follows that lower lung is right below that, T4 and T5. Alright, so just keep moving down another space. So this area is a little fishy, so just have to remember right versus left. So on the left side, we have the stomach acid, and stomach motility. So that is T5, T6, T6, T7. And then on the right side, we have the liver, which spans both T5, T6, and T6, T7. So I kind of make a big one like this. And that's going to be liver. Also in this area is the gallbladder, and they didn't specify in the manual whether that's left or right side, but I'm just going to draw on the right side here. So that's T6, T7 is gallbladder. Great. Okay, so keep on moving on. So we have, next would be pancreas, which they also didn't specify in the manual, and that is 7 and 8. So here is pancreas. And then if you keep moving down, so then we have the whole small intestine, which if you remember is from T8 through T11. And so if you kind of make a huge, I kind of just did it off to the side so it didn't ruin my drawing. So that's small intestine, T8 to T11, and that's also the intertransverse space. Let's see. Alright, so we keep on moving down. We get to the T11, T12 space, and then only on the right do you find the appendix. And then the adrenal glands are on both sides, same spot, so just do another one there for adrenals. And then right below that one you have the kidneys in T12 to L1. Okay, let me just mark my spot here. Alright, so then if we keep moving down our spine, might as well, we get to the colon, which makes this kind of triangular pattern out to the iliac crest off of the transverse processes on both sides, so that's L2 to L4. And then the broad ligament and the prostate attach from the PSIS to the spinous process of L5. So I kind of make a PSIS down here, and that is broad ligament and prostate. Okay, so which ones are we missing? The ones that are kind of abnormal that don't really fit into intertransverse spaces. So those are up towards the top here. So I'm going to change color, as these are the abnormal ones. So what are we missing? We're missing heart, and that is, let's see, T3, lateral to the spinous process and superior. So I kind of made that one here, and that would be heart. Next we also have all the ones that are kind of up on the top, crowded on these C1s and C2s. So the middle ear, the book says superior edge of C1 transverse process. So if you're thinking about where that would be, kind of just drawing it on this up here on top of the C1 transverse process is middle ear. Next, if you have sinuses, and sinuses are between the spinous and transverse processes of C1, so kind of in the same spot, more so on the bones. I kind of made them just below sinuses. And then we also have the nose, and the nose is on the lateral aspect of the transverse process of C1. So that one's kind of out here. So over here we'd see nose, middle ear, sinus on the left side. Alright, so then lastly we have C2 here, and then it says pharynx and larynx are between the spinous and transverse processes of C2, or the transverse and spinous processes of C2, which sounds the exact same thing to me. So I just made 2 stars, larynx and pharynx. Alright, so this is kind of how I ended up drawing mine. Hopefully that helps. Let me know if you have any questions.